So today we're taking a look at the other super destroyer that's going to be released soon, the Kunming. Not exactly sure on the pronunciation here, but the Super Yueyang. That is what we're getting here, and it's a little bit different. It's not quite as similar as the Humphreys was to the Gearing. It's got a lot of torpedoes and one extra gun turret here, so we can see that we actually have Shimakaze level of torps. We got 15 torps here, and they are still deep waters, and they do pretty good damage. I've gone for a bit of a torp build here. I want to try that out a little bit more. We went pretty gun build on the Humphreys, so let's see what the torps can do here. The thing we should also keep in mind is the guns here have a pretty long reload, so 4.8 seconds with this build. I have gone a little bit into the guns, but not too much. The DPM is much worse than the Humphreys. It's not that amazing, but that's what we expect on the Pan-Asian ships. That's kind of been their nerf, I suppose, to make them a little different than the American line. So we get deep water torps instead, so we're going to try and focus on that a little bit more. We have the special commander that is going to help us with our torpedo build, specifically with that torpedo reload booster, because we still do have a torpedo reload booster here on 15 torps. So that's 30 deep water torps potentially all at once. Pretty disgusting. And if we do manage to activate a high alert here, it's just going to help us overall. As far as the equipment that I've gone with on this one, pretty torp focused. Interestingly, we do have some pretty good main battery firing range here, so maybe a gun build would be interesting. We still have the Yueyang, the Pan-Asian smokes, which are pretty nice, a nice middle ground between the long duration, very long cooldown Gearing and American style smokes, and the short cooldown, short duration of the UK DDs. I kind of tend to think of these Pan-Asian smokes as a nice middle ground between those two. We can slot a radar though. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I find smoke to be pretty useful, and we don't exactly have the gun power to really take advantage of that radar. As soon as we open up, I feel like we're just going to get outgunned. At least that is the initial impressions. Notice our concealment is 6.3, and that is taking concealment upgrade here and concealment on the commander. 24,000 hit points is not too amazing. We are taking survivability expert, which does give us a little bit more there. So this ship might be a little squishier yet than the Humphreys, so we're going to probably want to play in a little more stealth, play a little safer, try and stop people from pushing in, try and get on to whatever flank the enemy team is pushing on, I should say, and then use these torps to our advantage. Also, I just had to look at some more of the detailed stats just to clarify. The guns actually don't even have a buffed shell flight time like the Humphreys did. Kind of in between the Sherman and the Gearing as far as shell flight time, which made it a little easier to use it as a gunboat. This is exactly Gearing, Yueyang shell arcs that you're used to, which are not very good. So 13.5 kilometers with that shell velocity is not going to be very easy to use. So keep that in mind, but let's see what it can do out in a few games. Although I can't exactly promise today's video is going to go as well as the Humphreys. It's not every day you play one game and get a solo warrior. If you missed that video, definitely go check it out. It was pretty amazing. So for starters, we definitely notice there's no burst fire gimmick here. Of course, the power level here seems to just come from these amazing deep water torps. If you haven't seen deep waters before, they actually don't hit DDs, at least these type for the Pan-Asian destroyers, but they do hit really hard into cruisers and battleships. The key, though, is that there's just no reaction time to them. They are very stealthy, so they're very difficult to dodge if you are a battleship or a cruiser. So that's going to be the power level here. I'm pretty nervous about pushing so aggressively, especially with a 6.3 detect. That feels really, really awkward. So the enemy is with... Okay, there's a sub. Got to be a little careful of that. The enemy's in A. We didn't have a lot of DD support here. I don't really feel all that confident in my guns against some of these ships like Vampire or Daring. Pretty spooky to deal with. So we're just going to play it a little bit safer. Looks like the two subs are going to go at it a little bit here. I wonder if this range is just going to be such a massive detriment. 14-second flight time. That's just going to keep us spotted when we do end up taking more fights, potentially, which isn't amazing. Send those there. And maybe we'll send another set for this Vincent while we're on our way back for the cap. Try and help our team out here with a bit of spotting. That's a lot of torps we dumped out, and it was the vampire. So I'm pretty happy with taking it a little easy here to start with. There come the torps. Hopefully do get a decent hit off on these two guys. 2 hits into the Ruprecht. That's 30k already. And how many do we get on a Vincent? They don't see them until they're on their ship, so keep that in mind. Alrighty, there's another 4. Yeah, so now we've just activated one of the buffs for our commander, giving us another of these reload boosters, a little faster torps even. Pretty powerful, 86k just like that. But we do want to be a little careful here. Don't have a ton of support. A little worried about taking some fights here. But we are on the flank where the enemy team seems to be pushing. Our strong flank seems to be the other flank, although we've lost a lot of people already. Let's go kill this guy.
Engine boost
If we
activated.
can. Reload, not amazing here. But, hey, we're doing it.
Smoke generator started.
Nice. Pop our smoke. Try and farm the Ruprecht here a little bit. Might take a hit, but I think we'll be alright. 5k, that hurts. But I think we'll be okay in the long run. The DPM. Yes, the DPM here, huh? Not super amazing. So we gotta worry about a hydro here, so I'm just gonna run away.
Smoke screen set.
No point in sticking around, trying to be all cute with it. Let's just run, live to fight another day here. More than likely we'll hit one of those torps on him. Oh yeah, he's definitely dead. Maybe even, well, they'll be all spotted for the Vincent, but maybe we'll hit one on him too. Alrighty, so that's 120k already. Pretty good. Unlikely we end up doing any meaningful damage to that Vincent. I have a decision to make here. Do I go play with the Conqueror, or do I go back and help with the Monty? I can't exactly stay here on my own, because I lose in a gunfight to a vampire. Probably even lose to a Yamagiri, potentially.
The enemy is about to win.
Oh, wow. Well, their Annapolis is having a game. Unfortunate for us, but looks like this is going to be a bit of a blowout. We did have a pretty good impact, though, earlier on. All right, we'll send those torps in there. Try to finish the Vincent off. Our Conqueror's in a bit of trouble. We'll certainly try and keep him alive. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a couple here. I hope. We'll open up here, try and save him a little bit. Okay. Unfortunate. They traded. That's how it goes, though. See, we're still detected here. This is the problem, potentially, with having a giant gun radius, is that you just stay detected anytime you shoot.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port.
All right, looks like we're in a bit of a tough spot here.
Smoke screen set.
Iowa probably kills us here. But do we get him? Not quite. All right, we got ourselves the Yamagiri. We got ourselves a decent amount of damage here. All right. I don't know if I can pull this one back, guys. I know the last video I did all right, but
Deactivated.
yeah, this one's gonna be a little trickier, I think. All right, we get the Iowa. That gives us an extra minute, although I think our submarine is actually about to die. There we go. That's the Kunming. Apparently it's pretty good with torps. Maybe getting a little lucky here with these first games going so well, I think. All right, we got our first cap here. Finally, we won the A flank. Right at the end, too. So 234? That's pretty good. These torps, man. It's a lot of torps to chunk out there. Yeah, blowouts, they happen. The Annapolis had quite a game as well. But yeah, these torpedoes are pretty disgusting. And the guns actually aren't, like, atrocious. They just don't have the DPM. That's really all that it comes down to. So you really are going to be that torp-focused ship. And I think that's all right. I think it's interesting to have another more gun-focused ship. Yamagiri, of course, was the first one that was the super DD that was very torp-focused. I like the deep waters. They're very, very, very good torps. I mean, just having no reaction time to them. You saw those battleships. They just didn't react at all to them. They're very good at hitting cruisers, too, because of that 0.8 kilometer detection at 76 knots, and they do nearly 19,000 damage. The torps are pretty awesome. I think I'm going to cut it here. That was a pretty good showcase, I think. So let me know what you think in the comments down below of these two. They seem like pretty decent DDs, although they definitely fit into the tier 11 camp of these super ships. Maybe not the tier 12 or tier 12 plus versions. Not quite enough gimmicks to get there, but they're still really solid, strong ships, I think. So again, this is going to be in an auction, much like all these super ships are. And then a couple months later, you'll be able to get it for normal research, and then half of 100 million credits, 50 million credits, whatever the usual super ship cost is in the tech tree. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day.